Hello everyone, my name is Anthony Hable, AQW Blaze 91, and I've got another channel update for you guys. And this is a very important channel update because do you guys remember that sorry. Do you guys remember that I would be doing the optional content in Star Ocean to the end of time for the PlayStation 2, which is this game? Well, it's come to a decision, guys, that I'm at this point in the year, and also the fact that I haven't made a game review in 2 months, since I have been spending a lot of time trying to get this done. But obviously, like all the grinding and some of that, trying to go through the optional content, trying to get as much grinding done to do all the crafting and whatnot, it's just become far too time consuming. So it's come to a very regretful decision that I'm sorry guys, I'm not going to cover the optional content in this game. Yeah, I said it. I'm going to stop the optional, I'm going to stop playing Star Ocean to the end of time, and instead I'm going to focus on just reviewing this game and just end it as it is. Just end the game as it is. So some of the time I spent on the optional, I'm trying to do the optional content, yeah, more or less I just wasted my time. But I'm going to try it, but I'm actually going to tell you about the optional content anyway, through my experience when I played it years ago. Because now that I've actually got memories of it in my head now, I'm going to tell you guys what the optional content in Star Ocean to the End of Time is like. You get the what is it? Chess. You get an optional game of chess that you can do in one of the towns that you visit near the end of the game. One of the towns you go to, which I actually really love, is a theme park themed town where you actually get to play the battle arena, the bunny race, and the chess game. And the chess game and the bunny race is a simple racing game where you just put your bets on the bunnies to see who crosses the finish line first. The chess game is very self-explanatory. You pick the right pieces to defeat the other pieces, but it has its own variation. You use either a warrior, a symbologist, a mage in other words, and a thief to take down the opposite opposing pieces. Essentially a rock, paper, scissors style system. And the battle arena is the highlight of the pack, because you go through single, team, or ranking arenas. And I did all those. But if you defeat the entire ranking battles, you get one more. You get a chance to fight the champion, who's he's got like about 1 million HP, I think, which may not be much compared to the other optional boss encounters you fight in the optional dungeons. The first optional dungeon that unlocks after you complete the main story is the maze of Turbulations. The bosses in there aren't that much of a challenge. They have those mini bosses if you've built up on the Boots of Prowess and wasted your entire synthesis materials built on 3 of your choosing characters that you want to use for like the entirety of the optional game, or the post game, I should say. But the real boss fight in the dungeon is Gabriel Celesti, who's a character from another Triace game. Valkyrie profile. At least I think. Or has it become a... No, I don't think so. I think it's become like a staple. I think Gable Celestia is supposed to be like a super god, some sort of ancient god who's become a boss in all Tri-Ace games, not just Star Ocean and Valkyrie Pro, not just Valkyrie Profile, and Star Ocean as well. And then afterwards, you then go. The other optional dungeon is the Spear Company. The additional floors past floor 6 to 211 floors. Anatomy is one of the laziest optional dungeons in the game, because all they did was reuse the same floors and assets from other floors. Every single one of the floors look exactly the same. You just walk through empty large corridors. just very little was put into it. We're all just like, oh, let's copy and paste other floors into other floors as well. And he also reused boss battles from the story as well. So if you remember fighting Fox, Shelby, Crozo from the story, for instance, they'll reuse them for the optional dungeon, and that to me is just lazy. But when you do make it near to the top, you will eventually fight a true boss battle there. Lenneth Valkyrie, who is the protagonist of Valkyrie Profile, but in a child state. I know for one fact, Lenneth Valkyrie was much more taller in the actual game, because I actually did see the game when I was over at my friend's house one day. And I think, as far as I remember, and I remember Lenneth Valkyrie looks a lot more taller, as opposed to how short he is, as portrayed in Star Ocean 3 as her cameo. She looks so deformed and childlike. That's not right. Well, that's not the right thing to say. She is a child in Star Ocean 3. Is it simply either portrayed as a kid, as some little kid or something? It's insulting. And then afterwards you'll find Acilia Queen. Who's like it's supposed to be like the strongest boss in the Star Ocean series. But there's but with the exception of one other strong boss encounter, which I'll get to. Lenneth for me was quite tough. I died a few times against her. She had like this attack where she constantly, with like a wind, with like these wind blade things, or this tornado, I can't remember, constantly hits your allies, dealing massive damage. And it's and pretty much when a character gets into that gets hit by it, it's pretty much guaranteed an instant death. Unless you refine the boots of prowess to survive against it. But I still prevailed on my third attempt, I think. I think it took me 3 goes to beat Lenneth. And I know Acilia Queen was easy. I know Acilia Queen was quite easy because mainly I soloed him. No, her. Sorry, Acilia Queen. I soloed her because 2 of my other party members kept died instantly, and aside from the character I was controlling, Fate, in the fight, he was taking 0 damage from Acilia Queen's attacks. And I can't remember what the only attack that actually damaged him. So I pretty much soloed Cancellation Queen in a fight, at least as far as I remember. There's another optional dungeon where, depending if you have a relationship with your party members, you get... My apologies, the 10-minute time limit on my 3DS camera. So anyway, there's like there's another optional dungeon that plays in the Ursa caves. There's a temple that's on the right side of where Crusoe used to be, and if you go there, you'll have a dungeon where, you have boss fights with party members, depending on high or low the relationship level is with them. If a relationship with them is high enough, you'll have to fight Fate, or at least a clone of him, with a clone of a party member you have the highest relationship to, depending on your dialogue choices in the private actions. Now, I've never ever done any of the private actions because until I looked them up on the internet, I didn't even know what I was meant to do, what I was meant to do to get them. I just kept on wandering around each town, just talking with allies, just to hope hoping private action choice to come up. The only ones I know is the one with Albel. If you go into Peterni's Inn and say you don't hate him, when Albel joins your party in Disc 1. And the other one I remember off the top of my head is the private action you meet is when you first meet Pepita and you say, "No, I believe you," in the dialogue option. These are the only ones I remember. These are at least the first private actions I remember. But aside from that, I really have not got no clue. I haven't got no damn clue. See, there you go. Well, that's just my only swear word I'll say on the camera. Sorry. But I didn't find that dungeon that hard. Maybe because I had like high level characters at that point. The max level you can have for your party members, by the way, is 255. Which you might actually want to for the optional boss encounters, especially if you play the game on the higher difficulty settings. So I've kind of decided, so those are 3 of the game's optional dungeons. And you go in that Ursa temple. You find one party member that you have a relationship with the least, I think. And then later, at the end of the dungeon, you get a boss fight with a party member that's the highest relationship that pairs with Fate. And for me, I didn't get a relationship with anyone at all because again, I didn't know where to go with the rest of the private actions, or how to get any of their endings. So Fate, the clone, ended up being paired with Luthor, the game's final boss. And I'll have to say, it wasn't too hard. At least being maxed out in level, it wasn't really that entirely hard. I didn't really find it a struggle. I didn't have any issues fighting them. So I can't really complain too much about it. But there was one optional battle I had absolute struggle with when I first went through the game. In the Ursa temple, there's an altar that you put an orb in when you finish the Sphere Company. When you finish the Sphere Company optional areas, the Celia Queen will give you an orb, and you put it in the Ursa Temple caves. The Ursa Temple altar, not in the optional area, but in the altar that where Crusoe was. You go there, put the orb on there, and it summons the strongest boss encounter in the entire game. Freya, who is also a character from Valkyrie Profile, and by far the strongest and the strongest boss in the entire game. This game, Star Argentina in time. But she was also a character in Valkyrie Profile as an ally for Leneth, who sided alongside the protagonist Leneth in Valkyrie Profile 1. Freya makes her cameo debut in Star Argentina time, and and when I fought her, she absolutely destroyed me without much effort. Even with the Brutes of Prowess all crafted into my character's weapons, and even with everyone's levels maxed out. And a fight with her took me, and it took me 8 attempts. With my last attempt took at least 30 minutes allowing to beat her. It took ages because she has a lot of annoying attacks. She has attacks that can deal stats, that can paralyze you, break your fury gauge, simply slam your HP MP meters down very quickly. But one specific attack that she has is enough to wipe out your entire party if you're not careful. After Strike, which is where she brings this light down, and pretty much the light just pretty much covers nearly like a tenth of the, nearly like 9/10 of the whole arena, as far as I know. As far as I remember, I can't remember too much, but I remember the attack annihilating me enough times, and that you have to use some stun items to make sure she doesn't pull it off. And you will be wasting all your revival items trying to bring back your fallen party members to fight her, to keep retaliating against her. So that's all the optional encounters. I eventually beat you, Freya, on my 8th attempt. Made those years ago. Ooh. And the reward was at least worth it. So those are the optional content in Star Ocean to the end of time. And it would be nice if I could do videos on them, but it's come to a decision. I don't want to do all them again, just for the sake of video. But instead, I only want to do this game again, just because I just want to review this game now. So then that way I can have all the time in the world to review other PlayStation 2 games I have planned before before I part ways with it, because I got well, let me put it this way. You'll remember now that in August I recently got the PlayStation 4, and that from my brother Simon, and now I had been enjoying the PS4 as well as getting other games on the PlayStation 3 that I think I might want to do just for the sake of trophies, or just do them for the sake of I want to talk about it and review it in depth on my GameSpot channel. So with the PlayStation 4 now, I'm thinking about wanting to part ways with the PS2 because I really need the space as well. Well, I got the PlayStation 4 plugged into my computer, and it works fine on my with my computer monitor. I've got no problems with that. But I would like it plugged into a TV, so I can have room for one other console I've got. That's right, this little thing. And I realize now with the new, like all these new consoles they're bringing out, they require like some sort of high definition television or something. I'm gonna need one of those. I mean, I'm using a flat screen television my brothers gave to me, and it still works fine, all things considered. But I'm thinking about considerately getting myself an HD television, just for the sake of like I can play like my new Right, I apologise for the for the stop again. Right, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, with all these like new consoles they're bringing out, it's a thing that they're trying to bring games like throw away like their old TVs or like their old consoles and all that. I mean, my TV's aged quite a bit, but it still works. It still works fine, all things considered. I figured about, might consider getting myself an HD television just for the sake of, oh, I can move my PS4, I can move my PS2 out the way so I can have room for new games to come in. Which is why now I'm going to stop Star Ocean at time so I can have the time to probably cover as many PS2 games that I'm holding on to at the moment. Which will include some compilations, whatever RPG game I would like covered, which I'll show you, which will be Dragon Quest VIII. I would like to cover that game and review it on my GameSpot channel, because I want to at least say a few things about it, because I don't want to, because I'm honestly not that interested in doing the 3DS version of it. Because like I heard they're going to be censoring it. I heard they're censoring the 3DS port, and I don't think I would like to see some of the good parts of it removed out. You know, all the things that made the PS2 one phenomenal. So I'd hate to play an inferior handheld port of a PlayStation 2 game, as opposed to one other RPG that I've played that's got everything intact on the handheld. Tales of the Abyss on the 3DS. Because I mean, on the 3DS, Tales of the Abyss is just a very straight up port. It's got everything intact. The gameplay, the story, the graphics, even all the optional content on it. None of it is removed. It's the exact port of the PlayStation 2 game, and it runs, and it's still a very good port of that, all things considered, because it's a very straight up accurate game. And on the 3D, and with the 3D on, it's actually not that bad. I like the 3D. I like it with the 3D on, but with Dragon Quest VIII on the 3DS, they're just going to censor it, and it's been told that there's not going to be any 3D compatibilities for it, which I'm a bit disappointed. So I really would have liked to see the game with the 3D effect on. So I've got my reasons. I'm not going to play the 3DS port, because if they're going to change a lot, if they're going to change it and censor some of the things about it, then this is ruining what Dragon Quest VIII. And you're just ruining the parts of what made Dragon Quest VIII good in the first place. If it's the sense of the character clothing, I don't mind. Like in the Bravely games, I can understand why they changed some of the character outfits for the character outfits. But if it's to change certain things and make the game look inferior, I'm honestly not that interested. I'm honestly not that interested in playing a censored port just for that reason alone. It's just like with the Super Nintendo Mortal Kombat game. The original Mortal Kombat game for the Super Nintendo. You remember the SNES version of Mortal Kombat had the censorship where they removed the blood and the fatalities were changed. Yeah, that's the reason I'm going to play it for the PlayStation 2. I've got other plans of covering other PlayStation 2 games, like compilations. I might be interested in doing more of them, because I got other compilation games I want to perhaps cover, and then by then I'll stop doing the compilation reviews and just actually cover the games themselves in detail. But my other true PlayStation 2 game before that, I have my plans to cover Soldier of Fortune, the PS2 port of the PC game. I might be interested in doing that one. So that's it. But after that game, it'll be Dragon Quest. So back to the console detail in hand. So I plan to cover as many PlayStation 2 games as much as possible before I decide, before Christmas, which is where I'll decide what stuff I want to get for Christmas. And one of those presents is, of course, getting a new television that supports that does HDMI, or at least one that's small enough to support, or a TV that's small enough and cheap to support HDMI, so that I can get rid of my old TV and sell my PS2 and give my PS2 back to my brother Michael. Because the PS2 I'm using is actually my brother's, the silver one, my brother Michael's. I did have my black one. I don't know where that's gone now. I think it's been taken up to my brother's flat or something. But I don't plan on plugging it back in again, because I'm going to eventually start selling my PS2 games. Because you know you can't play, because I know I can't play PlayStation 2 games on the PlayStation 3 and on the PS4 as well. So it's a regretful decision, but I have no choice. I was prepared for it from the beginning. And I know I said before, I've done the Final Fantasy games, I've done the light gun games, but I've just got the one Square Enix RPG to play through, and that's as I said, Dragon Quest 8. And I want to do that, one. I'll probably start it next week or something. So it's a regretful decision, guys. I'm going to stop Star Ocean to the end of time as optional content. But maybe I'll think about it a bit more if I will really think it's worth it. But right now, I think I've spent enough time on Star Ocean to the end of time. It's time I review the game, get it written up, and post it up on my channel. Post a review of the game on my channel, and see how it's held up over the years. Because the fact is, with my channel, I want to review games that I remember, that either I remember playing, or games that have just recently come out. And see, I think, oh hey, I could cover a new Tales of game that's come out. That's going to come out soon next year in January. I've looked that up now. Tales of Berseria is coming out on January 27th, so I want the time invested in other games to review other games I want before I part ways with the PS2. And I also want the time to invest in reviewing Final Fantasy 15 and see if whether or not it's the Final Fantasy game we waited 10 long goddamn years for. Yeah, I'm gonna ignore playing the demos and avoid watching the film, and see if I can really be invested and see if I can really get my straight edge going for the game. And if not, then you pretty much goofed yourself, Square. You really should have thought twice about it, Square. Oh dear. You really have to come in an F. F is in you fail. Right. Another reason I think I might want to stop Star Ocean time, because I want to stop recording games that I've been recording over the past several months, because some of the RPG games I record, they take a lot more longer than any of your usual games. And I can remember when I didn't record any of the Tales of games on the PlayStation 3, Tales of Xillia, Tales of Graces, any of the Tales of Symphonia games, and I can remember breezing through those. So yeah, as I can remember when I was playing the PlayStation 3 games, Tales of Xillia 1, Tales of Xillia 2, Tales of Races, Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Zestiria. I remember going through those in a rather quick fashion, more efficiently, as opposed to actually going through and just recording all the boss fights. Like in Final Fantasy 13, I've been recording, and Final Fantasy 12, 10, 10-2, whenever I've been recording boss fights, and all them, and you all already know the camera quality on it is terrible because I've been recording it on the 3DS camera, and you already know that like the flickering quality picture, and it's like it's nothing I can really do about. It's just how it is. But nevertheless, I chose to pull through it with it anyway, and I have recorded a reasonable amount of games on it, and they're all on my YouTube channel. So you're free to watch them and give me a comment on them. But I don't plan on going back to that and doing any more of that anytime soon, because now it's become to a point now I really want to review more games. So YouTube will stop, at least for the time being, if I can find like anything like a proper like a video game capture card recording device or something, or if I can figure out any ways I can record better quality from a TV. I'll just have to leave. I'll just leave it, or unless so I can find if I can record certain games on emulators like SNES 9X and all that. But it doesn't give you that same console feeling, you know. Games were meant to be played. Some of the games were meant to be played on a console. Which yeah, having some sort of recording software on an emulator is very useful and all, but some of the games were meant to be played on a console, whereas if you play it on an emulator, it doesn't give you that feeling. And there's like multiple ways to cheat, like using save states, like using saves and save and load states, which allow you to bypass certain sections a lot easier. And I just think that's cheating. Well, for certain games like Ghosts and Goblins, which I did do years ago, on the Mega Drive, that would be Ghouls and Ghosts on the Mega Drive. I remember that. So I remember playing that on the Mega Drive, and I just used save and load states to beat the game, and I just think I just cheated on it. And I think that's just cheating. But for hard games like that, yeah, I guess you can't feel. I guess you really shouldn't feel too ashamed to do it. Any games like Mario, if I use save and load states on a Mario game, that would just be totally disgraceful. So it's my reason alone. I just think, you know what, I think I'll just stick to the actual console, play on the actual consoles. So I could play and record games from an emulator, but at the moment reviews really come more close to head. Especially compared to the amount of games I've got already. And then some of these I really need to sort out. Like really desperately. And I need to get started on some other games before I start like any other new one. So to give you guys a little quick refresher, Star Ocean to the End of Time, this game, I'm postponing the optional content, so that'll give me enough time to do Dragon Quest VIII, which I hope I can do it before the end of November, which is when I'll purchase Final Fantasy 15, and I can give myself other times to do that game and other PlayStation 2 games I might want to think about doing. So It's not an easy decision, folks, but it has to be said, and I have to make it clear. So I hope you guys enjoyed having to listen to me for a couple of minutes about my current new plans in hopes I could make my channel better. I'm going to be getting rid of some of the other stuff on my channel that I don't use. Twitter is going down. My Twitter account's going down. I'm going to be going through some of my other channels that I think I might not need. And I can hopefully now get started on my review on Star Wars to the End of Time. Not sure when it'll be posted, but I'll post it up as soon as it's finished. So, thanks for the chat, guys, and I hope to see you all next time. So till then, guys, see you next time.